Hey everyone. Today we're digging into a pretty incredible story of resilience and some really radical innovation. So, Ukraine has always been a global agricultural leader, a true breadbasket for the world. But now, in the face of these immense challenges, a new idea is taking root, using blockchain technology not just to rebuild, but to create what could be the most advanced agricultural sector on the planet. And it all starts with a single, powerful question.
Yeah, you heard that right. It honestly sounds like something straight out of science fiction. But this is the core question we're going to explore. Can a simple line of code, powered by the blockchain, actually help solve one of the most dangerous physical problems on Earth? The answer? Well, it might just surprise you, because it opens up a whole new way to connect global money directly to real on-the-ground needs.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the sheer scale of the crisis facing Ukrainian agriculture. Then, we'll get into the digital solution, this idea of tokenization, and see how it actually works. After that, we'll explore why Ukraine is kind of the perfect place for this experiment. And finally, we'll look ahead to what this means for the future of farming.
Okay, first things first. We really need to get our heads around the size of the problem here. This isn't just about fixing what was broken. It's about tackling hurdles that traditional finance, the old way of doing things, just isn't built to handle.
And this slide, well, it really paints a picture, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the legacy, Ukraine's legendary black soil, the very foundation of its status as an agricultural powerhouse. But on the other side, you have the brutal reality of today, fields that are just not safe to farm, completely broken supply chains, and a desperate, massive need for cash.
And the amount of money needed is just staggering. We're talking billions. Your typical bank loans, they're often slow, tangled in red tape, and just not nimble enough to meet a need this urgent and this complex. We need something new, something faster, something a whole lot more transparent.
And that, right there, brings us to the proposed solution. Now, this isn't about crypto speculation or anything like that. No, this is about using the underlying technology, tokenization, as a super practical tool for rebuilding.
So what in the world is RWA, or real-world asset tokenization? Well, to put it simply, it's about creating a unique, secure digital certificate on a blockchain that stands for a real physical thing. Just think of it like a digital title deed for anything, from a piece of land to the grain sitting in a silo. And what this does is it makes that asset super easy to divide up, to trade, and to make accessible to investors all over the globe.
Okay, so that's the concept, but how does a digital idea actually, build a real-world recovery plan? How does a token on a computer screen translate into physical reconstruction on the ground?
Let's walk through the life cycle of what they're calling a demining token. It's pretty cool. First, investors from literally anywhere in the world can buy these tokens. That money directly funds the clearing of specific, identified fields. Then, those funds get put to work. Once the land is safe and productive again, the very first harvest is sold. And, this is the crucial part, those original investors then get a share of the profits. It's a system that's targeted, it's transparent, and it's totally driven by results.
But get this, it goes way beyond just demining. Instead of simply rebuilding the old infrastructure, the vision is to build smart facilities. So imagine a brand new grain elevator, where as soon as it enters, every single ton of grain is automatically registered as a digital token on the blockchain. Special data feeds, they're called oracles, provide real-time info. For international partners, this means absolute verifiable transparency into the entire supply chain. No more guessing.
All right, I know what you might be thinking at this point. This sounds ambitious. A little too good to be true, maybe. So why Ukraine? Well, as it turns out, the country is uniquely positioned to become a real-world laboratory, a perfect sandbox for this kind of technology.
Well, here's the thing. Ukraine consistently ranks among the top countries in the entire world for cryptocurrency adoption. This isn't some foreign concept to them. The population, including farmers and business owners, is already really tech-savvy and familiar with digital assets. That creates a super fertile ground for these ideas to really take off and grow.
And here's what might be the most important piece of the puzzle. There's a solid legal foundation being built. Ukraine is working hard to align its laws on virtual assets with the European Union's big MiCA regulation. Now, what this means is that Ukrainian tokenized assets won't just be floating in some legal gray area, they'll actually be recognizable and legitimate for investors all across Europe and beyond. That's a huge deal.
And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. It really captures the power of that legal framework. It's not just about ticking a box for compliance, it's about building a digital bridge,
A bridge that can connect a farmer in central Ukraine directly to investment capital in London or New York, cutting out all the middlemen and all the delays. It's almost instantaneous.
So you see, this is way bigger than just a short-term recovery plan. What we're looking at is a blueprint for a complete technological leap forward. It's a vision for the future of farming itself.
And the next wave of this stuff is already being developed. We're talking about things like digital field passports that contain the entire history of a piece of land, smart contracts that automatically pay out based on satellite data, and eventually a future where an individual farm could have its own token, traded on global exchanges, giving that farmer instant access to cash based on a verifiable proof of their harvest.
Just picture it, a farmer in, say, 2030 actually saying this. My farm has its own token. I mean, that represents a fundamental shift in power, in transparency, and in efficiency. It's about putting these incredibly sophisticated financial tools directly into the hands of the people who actually grow our food.
And that really brings us to our final thought. We've seen how this all applies to Ukrainian agriculture, but the implications are so much broader. Just think about it. What if this level of transparency, of liquidity, and direct investment could be applied to any real-world asset, a piece of art, a building, a forest restoration project? The potential is absolutely vast, and it all starts with turning a real-world problem into a digital opportunity. It's just a powerful reminder that sometimes the most innovative solutions grow from the most challenging soil. Thanks for joining me.